Welcome back class. So we were learning about the Laplace transform, and last time we learned that if you have any function f of t, then how you can calculate the Laplace transform of that by multiplying with e to the power minus st time t, and we integrate this and we can get the Laplace transform of that function. Okay, so in pair form we write like this. Okay, and we also learned about the different Laplace transform properties, okay, like the time shift, frequency shift, differentiation, integration, and other. Okay, so now we will this lecture we will focus on the convolution property and the other properties. So before moving to that, uh, sometimes we have to find the initial value and the final value. Okay, initial value, for example, if you have any function, like if you remember, like when we do the differentiation property or in the integration property, sometimes you have to put up the value of f of 0, okay, particularly for the differentiation property. Okay, so like if you have any function and you want to calculate what is its initial value or what is its final value. Okay, so if you know its Laplace transform, we can easily calculate that. How? That you have a function f of t and its Laplace transform is f of s. Okay, so what you can do, just multiply this Laplace transform with f of s and apply this limit that sh approaches to infinity, and that will give you the initial value of that function. Okay, so it's easy to calculate the initial value of a function from its Laplace transform by multiplying with s. Okay, similarly we can calculate the final value of a function by doing the same procedure, but if you want to calculate the final value, apply the limit approaches to 0. Okay, that's it. If you apply the limit approaching to 0, you can calculate the final value. If you apply the limit of approaching to infinity, you can calculate the initial value of the function. So this is one example. So basically you want to calculate the initial value, so we multiply with s into f of s. Okay, so here like you have s plus 2, s plus 1 square, and you are just multiplying with s. So if you do some simplification and finally put up the value of infinity here, so eventually the answer is 1. Okay, by just doing some simplification. So you can try, and we will try to solve this in the live session. Similarly, final value, as I explained, we can calculate. Convolution property, as like the Fourier transform, the convolution properties, if like the two signals are being convolving in time domain, in frequency domain they will be multiplying. Okay, so same here, like we know that if we have impulse response, its Laplace transform is h of s, x of t its Laplace transform is x of s, then y of s will be x of s times h of s. Okay, convolution in time domain is equal to the multiplication in frequency domain. Or if you want to calculate h of s, it will be output divided by the input transfer function. Okay, so we know that we calculated the transfer function in the Fourier transform, the same concept. Okay, but now it is just in the Laplace domain. Okay, output, our input, is our transfer function of the system. So if you know the transfer function, you can calculate the output response for any kind of the input. Okay, if you know the transfer function, by just multiplying the Laplace of the input, you can calculate the response of any system, or response of the system for the any input. So usually like if you have any kind of system, we can easily write its Laplace transform. For example, if you have a circuit and you want to get its Laplace transform, okay, let's do the one quick example here and I will move to the next part. So for example, if you have this circuit and you want to calculate its transfer function, so this is your input and this is your output. So we know that the procedure which we use in the last chapter, so if we just apply that procedure here, so here the basically the output is the flowing current and the input is this. Okay, so if you calculate the transfer function here, that would be basically R plus SL. Okay, So that would be the transfer function. For this case, we will try to solve this in live session. You can also try this at home. The transfer function for this case is 1 over r plus Sn. Okay, so depending on, let's say the value of r is 1 and the value of L is 1. So it means my transfer function will be 1 over 1 plus S. Okay, or I can write is S plus 1. Okay, so basically we know that this is the denominator and this is the denominator of the transfer function. So this is actually called as the poles. Okay, so we can calculate the poles by putting this is equal to 0, so S is equal to minus 1. So if we draw this, okay, so we are actually having the pole at minus 1. Okay, we have a pole at minus 1. Okay, for example, let's say I have another transfer function which look like this one. So this is called 0. Okay, so I can calculate the 0 by putting S plus 2 is equal to 0 or S is equal to minus 2. Okay, so it means at minus 2 I have a 0. So 0 we usually draw like this. So pole we usually draw with the cross. So this transfer function, it has a pole at minus 1 and a 0 at minus 2. Okay, so denominator by putting is equal to 0, we can get the zeros of the transfer function, and by putting the denominator is equal to 0, we can get the poles of the transfer function. Okay, so basically based on these zeros and poles, we can identify the different properties of the convolution, the Laplace system. Okay, so like as I said earlier, okay, we took this example like S plus 2 over S plus 1. Okay, this is my one transfer function. So basically on top, okay, in general, if we try to write, we can write this that we have a polynomial, okay, in the denominator, and we have a polynomial in the denominator. Okay, and if you put this is equal to 0, we get zeros of the system, and if you put denominator is equal to 0, we get the poles of the system. Basically this transfer function, okay, we can also write this as this one. If we like just simplify this, that this is a my just polynomial, so we can factor the polynomial and we can get the linear factors. Similarly denominator we can write like this, like the different poles, okay, and so on. And if you put this is equal to 0, we will get the zeros, and if you put this is equal to 0, we will get the poles of the system. Okay, and if your transfer function is a constant, we call this a memoryless system. Okay, causality, okay, if it is like a 0 less than for the time less than 0, it will be a causal system. Okay, stability, okay, now a system will be stable provided that all roots of its characteristic equation, okay, poles of its transfer function are in the left half of the S-plane. Okay, so for example, the earlier example which we have seen, S plus 2 over S plus 1, this is transfer function. Okay, so if I draw the S-plane poles, so pole is at minus 1 and 0 is at minus 2. Okay, so if all the poles are in the left hand side of the S-plane, this is left hand side, this is the right hand side. If all poles are in the left hand side, our system will be stable. Okay, invertibility, the same property, like there is a system whose inverse exists, and if you multiply both of them, you will get 1. Okay, so that will be the invertible system. Okay, that inverse exists such that like h of s, and inverse is this 1 over h of s. If you multiply them, you will get 1. Okay, so that system will be invertible. So this is one example. So check that whether this system is stable or not, memoryless or not. Okay, so check all the properties. Okay, so try this at home, and we will solve this also in the live session. As like the Fourier transform, if you want to calculate the inverse Laplace transform, so we use the partial fraction approach, okay, like we did earlier. Okay, so the important thing is here, as I said earlier, every transfer function, okay, so basically we have two polynomials in the denominator and one polynomial in the denominator. Okay, so the first step is that for example, let's say you get a polynomial like this, s square plus 2s plus 3. Okay, this is your transfer function, for example. Okay, and this is your denominator and this is your denominator. So the first step is to get the inverse Laplace transform. Okay, or for example you want to get the system response and you get this output, and now you want to calculate the inverse Laplace transform. So first step is you do the factorization of the denominator. Okay, first of all do the factorization. The purpose of factorization is so you can write them in the linear form. Okay, like this one. Quadratic equation, we can get the two poles for this, two solutions for this. Okay, so we can write them in this form. Okay, so do the factorization of the denominator and then check the complexity of the poles. Okay, what is the complexity of poles, and based on that, okay, so basically poles could be distinct poles, it could be repeated poles, or it could be complex conjugate. So based on that, okay, we will try to calculate the coefficient of the partial fraction expansion, okay, like we did last time. Okay, for example, this is your transfer function, so we can write this as a over s minus p1 plus b over s minus p2. Okay, now depending on this poles characteristics, okay, if whether they are distinct poles means, for example, you get s minus 1 and s minus 2, distinct different poles, or you can get repeated poles like this. Okay, or complex conjugate poles. Okay, so depending on the poles we can calculate this the coefficient values, and once you know the coefficient values, then we can the same procedure like the Fourier transform, we will apply the the Laplace transform pairs. Okay, and we can calculate the inverse Laplace of that. So this is the procedure, same procedure like we did earlier. Okay, do the factorization here, write them in a linear form, check the poles properties, and based on that just calculate the coefficient values and then apply the pair technique, and we will get the answer to our we will get the inverse Laplace of the our system. Okay, so there are different examples, we will solve them in the live session. Okay, so then this is the one example, like if you have this transfer function, impulse response of the system, step response, differential equation representing such system, and this circuit example. So we will solve this in the live session. Thank you very much for your time.